Many athletes focus on training but they ignore nutrition.
People generally tend to forget that nutrition is the most important thing.
So, in your classes at ISST, what are some common myths that you try to break in the classroom?
Do not follow the trends.
From your perspective,
Implementation.
what do you think it should be and why?
We do not generally care about
Indian population sometimes follows the global nutrition trends.
so what.
Hello, I'm Aditi Khadilkar. Today I'm here with Sayali ma'am. Ma'am, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, hi, I am Sayali. I am a clinical nutritionist and a dietitian. I am a faculty at ISST.
So today I'll just be asking you a few questions related to sports nutrition.
Sure.
Firstly, many athletes focus on training but they ignore nutrition. How big a role does nutrition actually play in performance?
Nutrition actually is the foundation. People generally tend to forget that nutrition is the most important thing. It is one of the three pillars, that is training, exercise as well as nutrition. So if at all person is not eating food properly or is not looking after what nutrients are going in the diet, it is completely affecting the performance. So he feels fatigued, he feels weak, which is ultimately affecting the performance of the person.
So in your classes at ISST, how do you help students to understand the practical side of sports nutrition rather than just theory?
So basically, how to implement, what are the meals that are to be taken, what is the amount of carbohydrates, what is the amount of proteins, what is the amount of fats to be taken, what is the importance in the body, not just focusing on just one thing which is in the trend or anything. Making sure that we are inculcating all these things in just one meal and giving that at proper time. That is very important.
So there's a lot of misinformation around diets and supplements on social media. What are some common myths that you try to break in the classroom?
Generally, I tell do not follow the trends that are going on because they are misleading in terms of, because they do not actually talk about the side effect, or what do we say, the byproducts that it has. So telling them to read everything properly, as well as not just following or depending on entirely the supplements, having nourishing meals, balanced meals is equally important. And telling them how to read the labels, how to actually inculcate those things, what you've learned, is very important in the assessment of nutrition.
How different is nutrition planning for athletes compared to regular fitness enthusiasts?
Yes, so good question. People generally ask, so what is the difference? It is any which ways, like the components are not going to change. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, all the nutrients are going to be the same. But for a normal person who wants to do generally like a weight loss or wants to do any kind of clinical diet, in them they are not very important about the timings, the meals, the formulations and all. It is in the sports, as comparatively the meal timings is very important. Post the event, what are the things that are to be taken, how many grams of protein, quantity wise also it is very important. So comparatively, it is going to be about the timing, it is going to be about the recovery post session or post event. So these are the major focuses in sports nutrition.
From your perspective, what are the biggest gaps or challenges that are currently present in the nutrition industry?
It is mostly going to be implementation. Implementation plays a very important role. Whatever you're learning, that and matching it with actually the practical. So the understanding of what nutrients are or what the food that the person is consuming is very necessary. Rather than just going with the trends, understanding what it does to your body, how it affects the performance, how it affects the endurance, how it affects the recovery rate, and implementing what are the food sources or consuming those sources or suggesting those food sources which are important for the recovery, for the endurance, everything. So there is a gap because on paper you plan like around 2000-3000 calorie diet plan, and actually the person might be consuming just 1800 calories. So implementation can be done only with right knowledge.
Do you think that the Indian population sometimes follows the global nutrition trends that don't actually suit their bodies or their lifestyles?
Definitely. People are going to be very much influenced because of a lot of things. Maybe because of the social media, because of the influencers and so on. But yeah, the trend that the other countries follow depend upon the temperature that they are living in, the atmosphere, the environment, overall the body structure, capacity, everything differs. For Indians, we generally are going to be blessed with a lot of variety of foods, which we do not focus on. We only focus on the things that are going to be beneficial to the other countries, and then we think we only have those options. So it is very important to explore a lot of local things which are going to give you equal nourishment as the world follows. So there is definitely a complete influence. I would always recommend to have the local food first and then switch over, if at all required, to any other food products that are consumed in other countries.
And lastly, if the average person watching this could change just one food habit to improve their health and energy levels, what do you think it should be and why?
Stay hydrated, have good amount of proteins. Very, very important, because we do not generally care about how much water we are consuming or drinking. People do not even check what is the hydration levels. Only when they are thirsty, they will have some water. So that is the last thing that you should be doing. You should keep yourself hydrated by sipping in the water, as well as having a good amount of proteins, any of the sources. So having proteins in every meal and staying hydrated.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, so much for joining us here today and sharing your valuable insights.
Thank you so much.